Hello and welcome back to Good Game Nation, where we bring you all things TCG. My name is Preston. I'm here with Sam. Say hello.
It's Meta Monday. It's my favorite videos of the week. I'm not biased. I'm just kidding.
It's my favorite videos of the week as well,
That's fine.
but it's my least favorite topic, Eustace Captain Kidd.
But it's just, I think this is his farewell tour, so
I
let's
do
embellish him.
think, yeah, I think there's one more tournament that he can win that happened in Texas over the weekend.
Right.
I haven't seen results from that yet, but as soon as I know, we might cover it. If it's Kidd again, we'll probably just cover set three Japan stuff.
We covered him so much early when Set One was happening in the East, and we continue to keep covering him because he continues to win. So
Mhm.
happy for him.
Yeah,
He gets love here. He's not getting love in the manga, so we're giving him the love he gets.
yeah. Before we get started, we are doing a giveaway. I believe there's 1 week left as of this video being posted. So go check it out and enter to win some cool stuff.
Yeah,
Hopefully, this is the first of many. So show your support and we'll get this one done.
absolutely. The first deck we are showing is straight to the deck because we cannot find a link. We found a picture of it, but it
Mhm.
wasn't. It didn't have anything. But this was the winner of Miami. They were playing Kid, and this was the list of the image that we had been shown.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, Kid's been winning a lot. I think he got first and second in Miami, first and second in Las Vegas.
Yep.
Um, Internationally, I think Law won a couple early on, but Kid is just steamrolling these tournaments. And we saw a lot of good support for Kid in Japan too. So it's not a surprise that Kid is good. It's the deck that I chose to play for set one because I knew that it was better than my red options that I would have preferred to play. Um, it's just a good leader with incredible cards surrounding it. When I'm looking at this list, it's not too different from any other kid list that we're seeing. People are playing a little more basils, a little less basils. Some people play the 7 drop from the starter deck, some people don't. It's really just a flavor thing and what they expect to see in these big tournaments. Uh, but Kid's gonna win probably no matter what your build is. As long as it's like something like this, it's gonna be fine.
I like some of the adjustments that we've made here in the East to Jet Pistol. I like seeing the laws. That is an immediate adaptation to it. I think the Eustace Captain Kid, the 7 drop's another good read to that card. I think we probably should be playing that a little higher. But again, these decks lists are off, a couple cards. This might be like somewhere between 5 to 6. But it generally keeps the same core. It's one of the few decks that gets to play 2 searchers. And I think that's one of the huge reasons this deck is, we're seeing it so much. It's the most consistent. Um, and that's why the other deck, Law, that's another huge winner. Same reason they run multiple searchers, and that helps the consistency of these decks. Very strong. And again, he mentioned it at Vegas. We have a YouTube link. He went over his whole deck. It'll be linked down below. Go ahead and check it out. Great player. He gave a lot of great analysis. And we have the deck here. Very similar. A couple cards here and there, but it's running that core.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, maybe a couple different basil counts. This one's not running the 7 drop, but the core concept for this deck is all there. It's very similar. I actually think the event cards are the one of the bigger differences. They're not playing waterfall in
No
this one.
waterfall, yeah. See,
Um,
I play 4 waterfall and don't play any punks or waterfalls. Like I said, it varies to how you prefer it. Um, but as long as the core, 40 cards are the same, you're gonna have success. As long as you're comfortable, of course, on this leader. But like I said, hopefully, not hopefully, yeah, hopefully, this is the last time we review young Eustace Kid with this
yeah,
deck. With this deck, hopefully, there's a new variation. I would love to see Eustace Captain Kid later on, maybe with a different kind of supernova deck. But for now, I think this variation, this might be the last time we cover it.
yeah. Set two did not give him any love. We jumped straight to Kinemon, so.
Yeah.
I expect to cover some North American Kinemons and the rest of the world that get set to at the same time. a couple times before we get tired of covering Kinemon decks because it's just oppressive also.
It is
Um,
oppressive. Well, we didn't have any decks, fortunately, for the Germany Treasure Cup that did happen. But we did get this really cool infographic from Orange Samurai. Or if you haven't followed him, go ahead and give him a like. He covers a lot of One Piece content, especially with deck lists and playing. But really cool thing that we're seeing here is different from the East. You can't see it, but it's 169 uses Captain Kids. But we do have 81 Luffy's.
81 Luffy's and 81 Kaidos.
That's
The
cool.
interesting thing about Kaido, I believe for this tournament, they should have had film
Film.
stuff legal.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we see a boost in Kaido, because now it has all of its cards and it can be competitive again. The first ones in Long Beach, I believe, didn't have, I don't think you could play it. I don't think it was legal yet. And even if film isn't legal here, 81 Kaido is crazy without film. So, but the big point is Luffy. The West has taken a much bigger liking to the starter deck Luffy than Japan did. Japan had it really early, and then they picked up Zoro and they haven't let it go all the way through the end of set two.
Yeah.
Um, so it's really interesting to see Luffy excelling here.
Yeah, because I think not maybe not card for card, but a lot of the lists that I had seen for the Luffy, they were playing in the East. They were just playing it with Zoro. So it's interesting that we had just taken a more preferred liking to it. And I think the bigger reason we're seeing Law at a lower count because Law was definitely the second most played leader in the East. It actually might be card cost. I was looking at some of the projected like how much it would cost to build that deck, and it's a quite expensive deck, and it's probably going to be more expensive in set two. So that could be a reason we're seeing Law at a lower rate.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get access to the 8 drop kid, possibly the 7 drop kid if that's the way you want to play it.
Good
Like, it's a lot
for
of
the
SRs
Laws,
also.
for the
Um,
Namis, yeah,
yeah. And I mean, this game is fairly cheap when you don't do parallels, but you just have to have a larger card pool and be able to adapt with a leader that's harder to play.
sure,
In my opinion, Law is a much harder deck to play than Luffy.
sure,
Um,
that's
and
true.
then if you're playing Luffy, you can play like 15 Luffy cards.
15. Well, how many did this guy
I don't
play?
know. I don't know how many he's playing. I'm just thinking
Uh,
like starter deck Luffy, promo Luffy from the red stuff, promo Luffy from the tournament packs. This person's playing
12.
12 plus leader. Um, and this is what was it, second place in
Chile.
Santiago, Chile.
Yes, yes. Great
Um,
run. 8 round tournament. Then the top 16. He went through one, two, three, four, five, six kids. Huge. So we wanted to show maybe a different option if we were looking not to play kid. If we're looking to beat kid. He also beat a couple Kaidos. Zoro. He did lose to Law at the end. Um, so sad. I would have loved to see another Luffy come out at the end before set two, but a great run nonetheless. We have it here in Dev. Wanted to go through why this deck maybe has have this good matchup into Kid. And again, I think it comes down to who your selection is for Jet Pistol. Jet Pistol is a huge card for this matchup. And I didn't have the leader here, but it is a Luffy leader from the starter deck. That's so funny.
yeah.
Um, but
It's a
it,
super pre-release Luffy too, so this
oh
person
my
has been
god.
on Luffy from the beginning.
That's a good read. That's probably true. And again, it curves really well into the late game, and I think that's something we were abandoning early with Zoro. This one's not playing Ben Beckham, but I have seen the 5 drop to the 7 drop to the 9 drop. We catered more for this 4 drop Luffy, and again, I think this is for going second. I think you probably play Sanji or Nami first turn, and you play this Luffy second turn. That's a huge power spike for you, because a lot of people are not playing these kind of cards.
Yeah, the 4 drop vanilla Luffy is a big powerhouse to drop turn two, a 6K character. I think previously we've talked about Whitebeard just dropping 6Ks after 6Ks after 6Ks. Uh,
Yep.
and it puts us closer to that 7K threshold that I think we often talk about for set one. All your leaders are 5K. If you can hit 7K, they're wasting somewhere around 2 to 3 cards out of their hand to not take life damage. So just having a 4 drop on turn two that you're able to attach a single Dawn from your leader having it rested is an incredible combo that you can pull off with this deck. It also has a decent 1-3-5 with Nami to Nico to starter deck Luffy.
Yep.
The evens, like you were saying, if you start Nami or you start Sanji going Sanji into this Luffy, into either the Luffy, another Luffy, or whatever, it has a very good flow, odd or even side.
Yeah.
So I think that's possibly another reason why it does so well. Um, Something we haven't talked about,
There it is.
which we were talking about Kid having two searchers.
Yep.
Technically, Red has two searchers.
Hmm.
You just don't play the second one because it's an event card.
Yeah.
And it's an event card I thought would have a lot more value, especially at one cost. But Saba Odi showing up at 4 in this is crazy.
Yeah.
I think we disvalued it because it's not a character card, so it doesn't give you field presence. But this person said, I don't care about field presence. I'm going to gain it everywhere else. I want the cards in my hand now.
Yeah.
And getting to see a couple more cards in your hand, it through your deck, through searching through the top 5 every other turn or whatever, however many times you get to pull it off, is massive game knowledge if you're able to retain the stuff that you saw.
Yeah, I think a huge reason this card has success in this version of this deck is because we're missing cards like Ben Beckham or Yasop. We don't have that gap between Luffy and Shanks, so we do have an optimal timing for this card. But the reason it was cut was because it can be a really poor card to draw towards the end of the game. Just mapping your Dawn can be such an incredibly fielding task, but it took second. A lot of the other lists I have seen aren't playing it, but it being an option is definitely something worth testing at least, because it is operating as a second searcher, and that has been the key of success for these winning decks. We're also seeing a very, very high count of 2Ks. That's Luffy, Sanji, and Otama with 2 Usops. That
I
is
think that's 14.
yeah, that's a lot of 2Ks, and I think that's probably an accurate number. We don't need a ton of damage. Our Luffy leader provides a ton of damage, and sneaking the rest of it through with Luffy and Janbei and Shanks are probably key. Again, the key to success will always be Jet Pistol. Got to be able to hit that 8-drop kid.
You have to be able to find the right timing to play it and hold it in your hand until you need to execute it properly for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, another thing is Saba Odi. Sorry, Saba Odi doesn't hit event cards, so you do have a decent chance to miss because you have 4 Otama, 3 Shanks, and then you can't search itself, you can't search Jet Pistol, and you can't search Janbei. So a really bad search could hit you those. You're most likely going to hit Saba Odi. I just wanted to make a point that it says character cards on it, and that might be another reason why it doesn't get played as often.
Yeah, because the card I would absolutely want to pull in order would be Jet Pistol, then probably Nico Robin. Like, that's probably what I would want to pull. Not getting Jet
Even
Pistol.
hitting Nami isn't bad.
Hitting a Nami into a Jet Pistol would be okay, but again, shortcuts to Jet Pistol.
Yeah.
But it does operate, like I said, operates as a second searcher. I would give it a try. Maybe it'll also add the speed into your end game that you're missing.
Yeah.
But really cool starting point either way. I love seeing starter Luffy start to show up towards the middle end of this meta. That was a nice surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, 2 unique leaders, 3 incredible decks, tons of great players that are showing up in these tournaments, card game players that are incredible at all games are showing up for One Piece, which is really cool to see for these big tournaments. I hope that we get to cover more of like the online regionals and stuff like that as they come. So look forward to those in Meta Mondays and news coming soon, I think.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. If you guys are still here, please hit the subscribe button. It's right next to that Gleam giveaway. It's like right next to each other. So hit that button, hit both buttons. And if you guys want to see more One Piece content, hit that bell. And until next time, see you later.
Peace.
Bye-bye. Should we? I don't know. We air this at 8 in the morning. We should say like have a good day or something.
Yeah, that's true. Have a good rest of your day.
Yeah. I'm a night owl, so I naturally say good night. It's my favorite part of the song. It goes crazy, right?
It does.